Hey everyone, it's Nick here with you. Welcome back to the Rock Squad channel and welcome to the Rock album review for the new record, the 9th studio record from Rise Against. It's called Nowhere Generation. Nowhere Generation is the follow-up to 2017's Wolves, and I would have to say I'm not a huge Rise Against fan, not because I don't like their music. I've just never become a huge fan of the band. I do like the songs I've heard on the radio, whether that be Swing Life Away or Help Is on the Way or any of their song titles with way in it. Yeah, I've never really dug too much into Rise Against music. I've never listened to a full record. This was the first time when I listened to Nowhere Generation today. But I have huge respect for Rise Against, obviously, for what they've done in the punk rock community, for their lyrics. Tim McIlrath's voice is incredible. His lyrics, his political and social activism. These guys are worthy of our respect. And today, actually, June the 4th, has been announced as Rise Against Day in the band's hometown of Chicago. The mayor of Chicago bestowed upon them this most prestigious honor of it being Rise Against Day in Chicago. I think the band's doing some performance stuff. They're doing some in-store signings in their hometown, which is really exciting. But even though it's Rise Against Day in Chicago, it's also Rise Against Day everywhere because of this new album, Nowhere Generation. And I'm happy to say that I dug it for the most part. All right, so how we do things on the Rock album review is we divvy up the songs on the record into two columns, one being the plus column, which is the songs that I really loved and really, really appreciated. The other one being the minus column, which is the complete trash of this record. That's not true. The minus column is just the songs that didn't really jump out to me. So that's how we do it on the Rock album review. So without further ado, let's get to the review for Nowhere Generation by Rise Against. All right, the first song going into the plus column is The Numbers, the very first track on Nowhere Generation, a great anthemic opening track for an anthemic punk rock album. Out the gate, you know that Rise Against mean business. This is a big rocker. It's got a big opening, kind of an open opening before it gets into that double kick, that punk rock drum sound. Tim's vocals, as always, a strong force in the band, right? Going into the band's political lyrics right off the bat with this song. They have the power, but we have the numbers. The album's mission statement. I felt it was a really, really strong start to the album. So going in the plus column is The Numbers. Also going into the plus column is the second track from the record. And I have to say, this was my favorite track on Nowhere Generation. It is called Sudden Urge. The riff at the beginning of this song is killer. It got me right in the rock feels right from the get-go. I really love that. I love the verse melody from Tim on this song. A little bit different than some of the other melodies going on in this record. Leads into a soaring chorus. I really enjoy that. Like I was saying, I like the numbers, but this song, Sudden Urge, really got me going. I felt like jumping up and really rocking out to this song. The lyrics are amazing and obviously representative of a lot of the things that have been going on in the world right now. Sudden urge to watch this whole town burn, light up the sky like the 4th of July. That is a great lyric from Tim McIlrath. That is an awesome lyric. This is a great song. I dig it. I know this is more of a wider reaching political kind of song, social song with a lot of things that have been going on in society as of late, or forever, actually, a lot of these issues that we've been dealing with. But it also hit me a little bit personally as well. I've been having a lot of stress in my personal life right now. And this song definitely helped me to release some of that pent up anger. So very, very thankful for Rise Against for releasing this song. Definitely my favorite track on the album, Sudden Urge. Also going in the plus column is Nowhere Generation. It starts with this fist in the air, anthemic a cappella chorus that then kicks in with this huge vocal from Tim with some great guitar on this song. Another solid anthem. If there's anything that Rise Against does well, they write very anthemic and very powerful songs. Love the drums on this tune. Some solid rock outs throughout this as well. So I really enjoyed the title track from Nowhere Generation. Nowhere Generation. Also in the plus column is one of the other singles from this record, Talking to Ourselves. This one had a big power rock feel to it, melodic chorus, maybe a little bit more melodic than some of the other stuff on the record. This was the most recent single release before the full release of Nowhere Generation. It is a great song. It's going in the plus column, but it didn't really jump out to me as much as the first 3 tracks did. It was a little bit of a dip down in my energy for my listening experience, but overall, I did like this song. It's still a solid single from the record. So Talking to Ourselves is going in the plus column. But then we got into another kick-ass song on this record, Broken Dreams Incorporated. A lot of the stuff I was feeling on Talking to Ourselves, like this is a great song, but maybe not as good as I was hoping it would be. They did it on this song, which is I think the first single that they released from Nowhere Generation. There's some great guitar in there, a little bit of shredding action, and it's a little bit more has that straight ahead punk vibe than some of the other tracks on this album, which is to be expected because Rise Against is a punk rock band at heart, even if they have expanded into more mainstream or alternative rock territory over the last couple of records. But I can see why this was the first single from the record. It's a bona fide Rise Against single with the political edge, the lyrics, the driving rhythm, the great rock out in the middle. So it's very worthy of being on the plus column. Broken Dreams Incorporated. All right, so we have a couple songs in the plus column. I have to admit that the album dipped a little bit for me after the first half. I would say after maybe the first 5 tracks, the album dipped a little bit for me in quality. There are still a couple more songs in the plus column, though. Sounds Like was a good punk rocker. Good chorus. Sounds a little bit like another song that I'm going to put in the minus column called Monarch, but this was a better song overall. I enjoyed that. And then Sooner or Later, which was more of a slower or more melodic tune, more my kind of thing. I'm not a huge punk rock fan. Like, I like punk rock. I appreciate punk rock. I have some punk rock in my music collection, but I'm by no means a punk. I don't identify as a punk rocker at all. I'm more of a Brit rocker. I'm a alt rocker, whatever you want to call it, a hard rocker. But this song was more my thing. I kind of get tired of punk drumming after a while. Great. Punk music is awesome, but for me, I only get so much mileage out of listening to punk drums like that. So I did enjoy Sooner or Later. Maybe it could be a contender for a single if they are releasing more singles from this record. They've already released 4, so they might release another one, but we'll see. But Sooner or Later, I like this track. Not great, but it's still going in the plus column because I really enjoyed the melody on this one. Then let's get to the songs in the minus column, the songs that didn't really jump out to me on Rise Against Nowhere Generation. One of them being Forfeit. I have a feeling I might get some flack for this one because I think this might be a song that a lot of people actually like on the record. It's the acoustic song on the album. It's the rock ballad. Every rock album needs it. Even if it is a punk rock album, a band's got to stick a little bit more of a ballad in the middle of the record. The one great thing about this song is the huge vocals from Tim on this song. Just incredible. This guy, man, the vocals from this guy, the voice that he has, the way that he's able to sing and put that hard edge on his vocals. As a vocalist myself, and I'm more of a softer kind of vocalist, I try to grit it up a little bit, but I could never reach his level of singing. But he's singing his heart out on this song. Very nice guitar picking on this one as well. I just wasn't into the melodramatics of the song. It was very dramatic, very melodramatic, very like, ooh, and it felt a little bit forced to me, but it was a decent acoustic track, although not my favorite. I know a lot of people will probably give me flack for this, but Forfeit is going in the minus column. Also going into the minus column is Monarch. Now, like I said, I really enjoyed the first half of this album because I felt like things were a little bit different for Rise Against, especially when you listen to those first 3 tracks. This is a run-of-the-mill Rise Against song. Not that there's like anything super wrong with that, because this might be something that old school fans might dig a lot more than I do. But I just noticed a lot of albums that I've listened to lately on these rock album reviews, especially ones that are more in the 11 to 12 track range. That even with the they make strides towards new sounds. Like when I listen to SuddenUrge on this record, it feels fresh. It feels new. It feels like they really try to make it different, make it a different Rise Against song. But a song like Monarch is the complete opposite, because this is just, treading familiar territory for Rise Against. I feel like I've heard this song a million times by Rise Against and other punk bands. So I'm going to have to put Monarch in the minus column. All right, so let's get to the last couple of songs in the minus column. Middle of the Dream. This was another by the numbers Rise Against punk rock tune. Not a bad song, but by this time in the album, I'm running out of steam. As I said, I'm not a huge Rise Against fan, and that happens when I listen to these rock album reviews. If I like just a couple of songs by a band, I find it hard to maintain interest in listening to the entire thing, because I feel like this album resorted to a lot of filler in the second half, and so I was running out of steam. I'm not a big enough fan to listen to this much of Rise Against in one go. So Middle of the Dream is going in the minus column, and also the last track on the record, Rules of Play, is going in the minus column as well. It's another decent tune. Again, these are not bad songs. Obviously, there's been a lot of work put into them. It just didn't stand out to me at all. And by the time the end of this album came around, I was definitely losing a lot of momentum in my listening experience, and the excitement. Like I was telling you, the excitement that I felt in those first couple of songs on the record, that had dwindled quite a bit by the time I got to the end of Nowhere Generation. The band's energy themselves, again, is not diminishing. They are putting their heart and soul and every last ounce of blood, sweat, and tears into this record. But as a listener, it was a little bit of a struggle for me towards the end. So Rules of Play is also going in the minus column. So that is my review of the songs from Nowhere Generation, you know, in this constantly changing and scary world. I don't know why I put that in my notes. It doesn't really make sense. But, you know, there's a lot of crap going on in the world right now, a lot of injustices, a lot of bad things going on. As always, these things have always existed, but it's great to have Rise Against back. They're still rocking with their fists in the air. I've been doing that a lot in this review because this is ultimate anthemic fist in the air rock music. You know, that's what they do best. And I'm glad that they're still around to do that for their fans and for the music world in general. Very focused and tight musical performances from the band. The usual powerful voice and lyrics of Tim McIlrath. He's amazing. He's got some pipes on him. And this album is filled with, like I said, rock anthems, just kind of the anthems that I like to listen to. And I feel like we all need these anthems. You know, it's so good for Rise Against to vocalize a lot of the things that people have been feeling over the last few years, and a lot of the injustices that have been happening the last few years have been happening for decades before that. So it's good for them and good on them for vocalizing a lot of the things that people have been feeling. I think Tim McIlrath is very good at that. The only complaint from me is that the first half of the album is much stronger than the second half. The numbers, Sudden Urge, Nowhere Generation, it had a great start that eventually petered off for me. But strong melodies, strong performances throughout the album. There's no doubt about that, but it was a little bit front loaded for me. So I'm going to give Nowhere Generation by Rise Against a 3 out of 5. All right, guys, let me know what you thought of the new album from Rise Against, Nowhere Generation, in the comments below. Happy Rise Against Day as you enjoy this new record and honor these great guys. If you live in Chicago, I'm sure you're going to go check out their in-store performance and their signings and everything that they're doing this weekend. So yeah, thanks for watching the review. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. Toss us a like because we would appreciate that. Lets us know that you like what we're doing and helps to spread the word about the Rock Squad channel. Hit the notification bell, subscribe, like, did I say subscribe, like, notify, all of that stuff. Make sure to follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Rock Squad Pod. Make sure to check out the Rock Squad podcast every week here on the Rock Squad YouTube channel and on your favorite podcast app, where my co-host and bandmate and I, Dave Marini, we run down a bunch of different big topics in the world of rock music news. So that's right here on the Rock Squad channel, and always keep an eye out for the next rock album review. I think next week we're doing Wolf Van Halen, Mammoth WVH, the new record. Yeah, we'll be doing that next week on the rock album review. So until then, we'll see you guys on the Rock Squad channel. Rock on.